Wow, so you pushed over 5,000 trophies in one
Yeah,
season? Oh
yeah.
my God. What would you say was like your best trophy pushing tip? What's up, YouTube? Today we got a legendary guest on the channel who, in my opinion, had one of the greatest seasons ever of Brawl Stars. Last season, he completely shattered the old trophy record. It is none other than my man OG. What is up?
Hey, Corey. Thanks for all that. Thanks for having me too.
Of course, no problem. You've been on the channel a couple times. Always a pleasure to have you on. Man, first off, can you just give us really quick, how many trophies did you end up getting?
So I finished the season at 17,000 cups, or 17,001 cups.
17,001 cups. You just stop after you got that one trophy over?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely needed a break, so
I'm
I've been
sure.
black a little bit since then.
Gotcha. How many trophies? I mean, I heard a little bit about this. I heard some rumors, but how many trophies did you push in just that one season?
So I started the season at 11.85k. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot of cups. So around
Wow, so you pushed over 5,000 trophies in one
yeah,
season? Oh
yeah.
my God. That's probably more trophies than the average person watching this video has. You pushed in one season.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if it's like something to be proud or ashamed of, but
Hey man, you got to be proud of it. Got to own it up. You did an amazing thing. Obviously, a lot
yeah.
of us probably feel, but I mean, that's insane in a lot of different ways. But like, how did you do it? How did you do that? Such a feat.
So kind of nerdy, but like I set up like a schedule, and I
Okay,
find like it always helps.
dedicated.
But yeah, I find like it always helps when you have like stuff written down, just like
Sure
have some
thing.
goal.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, and then I had like great like pushing partners like for the whole season, and just like a lot of like I had a good group of guys that were like dedicated to helping me get 17k, so
Yeah.
I could without them.
Were you mostly like pushing with like one group of players, or how did you do it that way?
Um, I mean, like sometimes I'd play like with random players, but
What?
when you're like push, like
Oh,
not
you
like
mean like
random.
just like share open to your band sort of thing, or?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay.
Put
Not
it up to
true
my
randoms.
yeah, not true randoms.
That would be risky. Going for number one.
um, yeah, I don't think I would hit 17k with true randoms, but like my main group of people that I play with was probably like 6 to 8 guys.
Okay,
But
got it.
yeah, I had like some other people too, just like 6 to 8 like main people.
Yeah. How much time and like effort did that take on your part to do that? Like per day sort of thing.
So the first week I went like really hard. By the end of the first week, I was at like 15.7k. Um, the
Okay.
average,
So you did most of the
the,
pushing in the first week.
pardon?
You did most of the pushing in the first week.
Yeah, and then the second week, like I took it like a little easier. Still like a lot of pushing, but the first
Yes.
week definitely like over 8 hours a day, probably like 8 to 9, like on average. And then I had one day that was like really long, and it was like 12 or 13 hours. Like I don't remember exactly because I was so tired, but
Yeah.
it was a busy day.
It's all a blur.
Yes.
Would you do this again this sort of season?
Oh, I don't think ever.
No. Well,
No, it
that's
took like a lot out of me.
it's probably understandable. All right, so obviously you're pretty good at trophy pushing, to say the least. So, what would you say was like your best trophy pushing tip? Right, I gotta ask you.
um, I mean, you just gotta like find like what mode and like what brawler like you're good at, and like same for your teammates.
Mm-hmm.
And like being in call like obviously helps out a lot too. And then if you start tilting, like you got to know when to leave a room or like when to take a break or whatever, and just like recollect.
Yeah,
So those were like definitely like the most important things for me.
gotcha. What about someone who's maybe not as focused on like trophies, but obviously you're a very very skilled player to do that. How would you say like if you're just trying to improve your gameplay, what sort of tips would you give?
I mean, you gotta like find a community that like you can like enjoy playing with and just like enjoy the game with,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like the only way you're gonna get like really good at a game is like if you thoroughly enjoy playing it. So just like find like a good group of players to play with, call with them, whatever, get to know each other. and just like enjoy your time like playing the game, right?
Yeah, true. It's gonna be hard to if you're not having fun. What are you doing it for, right? I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's a video game.
Right, right. Fair enough. All right. Well, I mean, we've had balance changes up for a couple weeks, but I mean, most of your pushing done after the Frank balance changes? Was all of it?
Yeah, so that like definitely made it tricky because
Yeah.
originally I intended to like do like my hard brawlers first. So I was
Okay.
saving like, stuff like Poco for last, and then like I did like Frank was one of my like first brawlers. I got to like 750, and
Okay.
then the day after I got Frank to 750. It was like, oh, like Frank, like insane buff. Nice.
Pushing more.
Yeah, thanks, Supercell.
Yeah.
So like that definitely like made it trickier. Just because like it's always difficult like when you don't know what to expect from a new meta. There's always like
Sure.
the first phase of
Gotta
like
test
it's
it out.
you're like figuring everything out. So that definitely like slowed it down a little bit, but
Mhm.
I got like relatively fast.
Got it. Well, you had the time to do it. What would you say? Like, what do you think about the current meta, though? What are your thoughts on that? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
I'm not like really a fan of it too much. I feel like the past like few metas have been like favoring auto aim characters, which I like. I understand auto aim is part of the game and it's necessary for like player retention. I just don't really
Yeah.
like that favoring the auto aim characters like Poco, Frank, Crow.
It's true.
So I hope like they lean away from it a bit, or at least like nerf auto aim so it's like less viable. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'd like to see like a bit more like skill be added back to the game.
So what balance changes would you like to see? If you were in the balance change seat, you're in the balance change chair, what balance changes would you make?
I'd show Bo some love. I love my Bo.
Bo?
Yeah. You're not a Bo fan?
I just wish I have like if I don't like a brawler's attack, I just kind of don't like them, and I just don't like how Bo's attack works. Like I don't like
Yeah.
Bo and Penny's attacks.
I've always had like a soft spot for Bo. So I'd like buff Bo a bit. I'd nerf Penny's turret because that thing is insane.
Yeah.
I'd nerf Frank, Spike's RNG.
Okay.
I'd like buff Bull a bit, like maybe an HP buff, something like that.
Yeah.
But besides like a few characters, like it's not like a bad meta right now, so I'm not complaining too much.
Yeah. Yeah. Last balance change was probably one of the smallest ones in a while, but of course, that
Mhm.
Frank buff was a really big impact to everything.
Yeah, that was really significant.
What would you say is the most underrated brawler right now?
Um, well, it depends on the mode and stuff, but this is probably like a little biased, but like I love Brock.
Yes.
Yeah, Brock's like always been like my favorite, like Brock and Piper. So
Yeah.
I'd say Brock's like the most underrated right now.
Do you think you can play him in like any game mode?
Oh yeah, like B-ball, it can be like a bit of a stretch. Like backyard, you can get away with it. Pinhole maybe, but
Yeah.
not triple. But
Yeah, right.
Every-
Triple, not a long range map.
great.
Gotcha. All right, I got a different question too. If you were a Brawl Stars developer, right, would you press that global button?
I think there's like a few things they need to fix before global. But they've definitely been like taking steps in the right direction. But first off, they need to like figure out the servers.
Yeah, the servers for sure.
Yeah, they can be like very frustrating. And then I'm sure it's not like immediate for Supercell, like they have other things to worry about, but like there needs to be some more end game content. Just because it's like really hollow, like once you hit like that like 10, like 12K like mark, there's
Yeah.
not much else to do. The reset can be like pretty depressing. So yeah, just like some end game content.
Oh, phone call.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries. What else do you think the game needs for global?
Maybe like another like new game mode, few new brawlers or something, but I feel like it's almost at the point where like it not being global is kind of hurting the game just because like it's been like such a long beta.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I think it'll be like probably like 3 to 4 months hopefully.
You think
Not
so?
much.
Yeah. One thing I feel like that's interesting is you'd think that like the longer a beta goes on, the more and more pressure that builds up for it to go global. But I feel like now that it's gone on for so long, people are just almost like expecting it to like not go global. They're like, it's just not going to go again. Like I did a poll asking my audience if that was going to go global. Only a third of people thought it would go global. But
Really?
But I'm sure if I asked that, like 6 months ago, it probably would have been much different, I would think. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they've done like year-long betas before with I think it was Boom Beach, but
I think they've done it before, yeah.
Yeah, they had one other game too, and they ended up canceling it. But I feel like it is like a really good game, and like there could be like a pretty decent competitive scene for it. Like I've seen them like toss out the esport word a lot.
Yeah.
But they have like put a lot of like time and invested a lot into it, so I'm sure they're trying to make it like work out like in whatever way they can.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're looking at it from a developer standpoint, they're being patient, which is probably the correct thing to do. Of course, from
definitely
our shoes, we want more people to enjoy it with us, right?
Yeah.
So, what you gonna do? But speaking of esports, what do you think of the esports potential for Brawl Stars? Do you think it has a chance to be the next big thing in mobile, or maybe not?
I mean, like, there's definitely the potential for it, but I don't think like they're really focusing on it right now, just because they want to get the retention rates up. But like it being like a fantastic esports game, it's just like so fun and competitive when you get to like a high level of play.
Yeah. Now, one thing I'm like always sort of wondered about and tried to figure out myself with how the esports scene would look for Brawl Stars is I feel like one of the strengths of Brawl Stars is that there is such a variety, right? There's so many different brawlers, but there's also so many different game modes. So as far as like making an esport, what sort of game mode are you going to do? Are you going to go for like multiple different game modes at once sort of thing, have people play each one? Or are you going to focus on the best one for competitive? What do you think is the correct route to go there?
I think they'd have to like play the fan favorites, but I guess it would be like 2 to 3 game modes. Bounty doesn't seem to be very popular right now.
No, not exactly.
So I don't see them doing anything with Bounty just as it is. But yeah, like Smash and Grab, like B-Ball, like those are all like really fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I could see them like leaning towards like those modes.
Yeah, I can see that too. I mean, obviously I've started my own league, sort of gone in that direction too. But it'll be interesting to see what Supercell eventually does with their own league. I'm sure they're watching us first, the community first, to see what they do.
Yeah, I mean they're like a smart like group of people, right? So I got faith in them.
Yeah, and they're doing pretty well with Clash Royale esports. So
this URL is awesome.
Yeah, been following that. Okay, I got one last question for you.
Sure.
Give me off a quick best generic team comp for each game mode.
Each game mode. So B-Ball, I'll do Tara, Frank, and then maybe like Nita or Spike.
Okay.
And then and then it like depends on the map too, right? But you can like get away with that like pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
And then Bounty, I'll do Piper, Brock, Rico.
Okay.
Heist, I'll do Mike, Daryl, and Colt.
Okay, you're liking Mike a lot right now?
Yeah, I think Mike's like so much fun in Heist, just jumping over like all the walls. It's great. Then Smash and Grab, Jesse seems to be like the meta right now, and then to the sides I'll do Spike, and then again like it depends on the map a lot, but like you can like run Nita like everywhere basically, so I'll say Nita.
Yeah, fair enough. Jump probably the most map dependent, I feel like. Yeah. Also more maps too, so maybe that's not fair, but all right, well, do you have any shout outs you want to do, man?
Yeah, like shout out to like all the people that helped me push the season, Tribe Gaming, all the content creators. Sums it up.
Awesome. All right, OG, well, thank you so much for coming on the channel, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem. All right, guys, well, hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you later.